see if I can get the date right today. I thought I got it right yesterday, got it wrong. October 27th, 2025. It's a Monday. Again, what difference does it make what day it is? It's a good day. Every day is a good day. If you wake up and your feet hit the floor and you're able to walk out the door and suck some oxygen, it's a good day. Yeah, October 27th, 2025. And it really doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the day. I'm back on track. And I'm in the Gulf today. I'm in the Silver Slipper. Yesterday I was in the Digibug taking a little drive, and then back in the Gulf today. It's a little chilly today. It's gonna start cooling off, so I gotta finish up the things I need to do outside and been procrastinating. I tend to do that. Getting a little comfort zone, get on cruise control, and everything's good. Next thing you know, the snow will be flying, and I won't be prepared. So, I need to do that. Get some stuff done today. It's a nice day. The rest of the week's going to be mid-50s, so for highs, which means it's going to be mostly in the 40s all day. And I'll get that done. Hey, big shout out to my buddy, my neighbor, Mitch, who took a little trip last night because his daughter is having a baby today, hopefully today. And what is today? The 27th, so it'll be October 27th to be the birthday. Okay, I gotta remember that. But yeah, he's gonna be a grandpa for the first time. Grandpa Mitchie. So congratulations, it's wonderful. Glad you're there to experience that moment. It's always something else. Bringing new life into the world. Bringing that new spark of light. Beautiful thing. All right, so yeah, moving beyond that. Speaking of sparks of life and the opposite of that, I was watching today on, I think it was CNBC. I was in the mornings, let that play, kind of listen to the narrative that's being pushed out for us, the programming that they want to do to our brains. I was listening and they had the Optimus robot. Tesla makes, those robots. The Optimus robot was outside of the studio handing out Halloween candy to everyone who came by, picking up fruit roll-ups with showing the dexterity of its fingers. Excuse me. Yeah, gets you thinking. And they talked a lot about Tesla. They had some interviews with people and what the future, AI, robotics, that kind of thing. The interviewer had asked a question, when is it going to be a time when I can, just get in the car in the morning and it just takes me where I want, and I don't have to worry about it, because I want to read the paper or read, nobody reads the paper. Read your Kindle, whatever. Does anybody even do that anymore? Read your tablet, your phone, and whatever. Doom scroll on X or whatever other platform that you're on. I'm just old, so I'm on Twitter, X, don't have Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, any of that. I could be entertaining, I guess, in little snippets. But, to be able to get in the car and let it drive, just like right now I'm driving. I'm driving while I'm talking and dogs are jumping around. A lot of distractions, a lot of things can go wrong here. But what happens when that day comes to when it's completely automated? You don't have to worry about it. Just think of the time you save. Just like cell phones. Think of the time and how efficient they'll be. And yeah, now you're a slave to it all the freaking time. You can't get rid of it. But it'll save you so much time. You won't have that wasted time of driving. The anxiety and the frustration and blood pressures will go down because, you're not dealing with other people directly when you're driving. Oh, that's crap. Garbage. Wasted trees. Unbelievable. So yeah, when that happens, when will that happen? Fully autonomous vehicles. Think about it. You'll get up in the morning, the robot will make the coffee and fry up some eggs and slap a ribeye in the pan. Thinly sliced, of course, for breakfast. Can't have an inch thick or more. And, they get that all done. Oh, have a nice day, Westwood. How ironic is that? Like Westworld. That's a series to watch, HBO, Westworld. Man, oh man, that could happen. There's a lot in that. Just like I talk about constantly, not constantly, but American Gods on Stars, that's another good one. Oh, Little Red Riding Hood. There's my mother at the mailbox. It's wearing red. Now she'll watch this video later and she'll remember that moment. Funny stuff. Little Red Riding Hood. What big teeth you have. Why do you have such big teeth? That's another rabbit hole to go down. You know, the Grimm Brothers fairy tales and all of that. Crazy stuff. Black Forest, the Schwarzwald. All right, back to the robotics, okay? Back to AI. Back to how society is being transformed. It is transforming. Trans-forming. How society is being transformed. But yeah, I mean, just imagine that you'll have a situation to where fully autonomous vehicles take you wherever they want. Take you to the police station if you've got some warrants out for your arrest, and there's nothing you can do about it. The doors will lock and off you go. So it's an interesting future that we have, especially with AI programming things. And if AI gets to the point where AI can program itself, do we go full Cyberdyne Technologies? Do we go full Terminator? Is that the path that we want? I mean, and is there any controlling that? Is there anything that you can do about that to stop that from happening? AI is a wonderful tool because it has access to volumes, libraries of information, and it can pull it back and give you a suggestion or bullet points on the path to take based on that information. However, there's a more sinister side to that, to where everything will be automated. Just like today, I ordered an egg cooker at the, somebody brought that up in the spaces, and I thought, you know what? Thank you for that suggestion. It's something I need, because I can't hard boil eggs. That's what I need to do. I like hard boiled eggs. My daughter loves them, and I never can do it right. I never can do it right. I never get the process right. And I got to grok it up. No, I don't even do that. But, I got to search it up. It's like, okay, so boil them for how long? Whatever temperature. You want them medium, soft? Do you want them hard? How do you want them? Boil them for a certain time. Take them out. Put them in cold water for this and that. And you know what? Every time I do it, it doesn't matter. The freaking eggshells, I can't get them off. I mean, there's the pieces of it. It's just cracked, and it's just not even worth it. Pulls off the white of the egg. Destroys it, eating shells. It's just not an enjoyable experience, for something that I do enjoy. So I choose not to do it. But anyway, in the spaces, somebody had mentioned, an egg cooker, and found one at a frickin' thrift store. And I'm thinking, man, I'm jealous, because that's right up my alley. And so I ordered one off Amazon, and my point is today, it's same day delivery. And I'm not close to, Peoria is the nearest city, and, I'm probably 25 minutes away, and 25 minutes away means I'm probably like almost 25 miles away, so people living in urban areas, when you hear 25 minutes, it's like 2 miles. No, it's like a mile a minute out here, because, it's very rural. Maybe hit a couple of stoplights on the way. But that's the nearest urban center. And so to have same day delivery, this morning I was looking at it over the weekend, and I thought, because I'm kind of cheap. Frugal, let's just say that. I'm not cheap. I'm very, I'll spend money on things that, a lot of things. But, I'm very frugal when I do it. And not frugal, not stingy. How's that? Way off. So I ordered those. I ordered 2 of them. I mean, they were really cheap. One was like $12. The other was like $13. So I had to do $25, to get the free shipping same day. So I did it. I got 2 of them. And I thought, well, shoot, because I've got like 3 freaking kitchens. 4 technically, if you want to count the cabin out there, that's a kitchen. You got, the bar, it's kind of a kitchen. I need the sink in the bar instead of the bathroom. Anyway, that's a whole thing. So there's that, and then there's a kitchen upstairs here, and there's a kitchen downstairs here. It's like split level, it's ranch style. You got a kitchen and full, the bottom's fully livable. It's like an apartment almost. Anyway, so I got all these kitchens. And I'm thinking, well, I'll just get 2 of them, it meets the requirement for the $25, to get it delivered. And then, I'll just have one upstairs, one downstairs. Start with that, or maybe take one to the bar. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I want to be able to boil these eggs. It takes like 15 minutes or something. You throw those in there, cooks the eggs, bam, done, zing, bang, bing, boom, bam. And hopefully it's done. And I can eat the freaking hard-boiled eggs and have hard-boiled eggs anytime I want them. And Amazon delivers it. So at what point do we just not leave our homes? And if we do leave our homes, the car drives us. How much automation are we going to have? Automate me harder, daddy. And I think that's kind of the overall plan, because, you watch some of these Black Mirror episodes, what happened with COVID. The whole idea is to eliminate human contact so we don't have that frequency vibe. And you can get that remotely through voice and conversation, and really get to know other people. You just, like when I do spaces, you really kind of get the vibe of someone. You start understanding, but there's no substitute for the real thing in my mind, in my soul, my heart. You can really get to know somebody, but unless you meet in person, and give them that big hug and feel that frequency and that energy, you'll never know. And you'll not have the full flavor and the full impact and meaning of a conversation won't be had unless you are able to look somebody in the eye, unless you can, feel that presence and that vibe and that frequency. And I think they want to separate us from that. And they make it so easy, just like me. I could go thrifting and wait and have patience and, get it, try and find an egg cooker and get a good price on it. But I'm missing out on the eggs now. And so it's that I want it right now mentality, and that's where they want us. Imagine at a certain point, we're all living in our homes, and, the walls are digital, the cost of things have become so cheap. You're incentivized, through government, like solar panels. It's like, well, we want you to have solar panels, so we're going to incentivize that. And so government will incentivize it with money they print up. And I can imagine a day when every home, they start getting downsized. Why do you think there's a push for tiny houses? These big houses are affordable. They're not even that big anymore. But push you into these cubicles, especially in cities, because we've got plenty. We can support a lot of life. We really can. You can put, the size of Texas, the entire world's population, and 3-story buildings, whatever it is. But imagine, these big condominiums, these big complexes where you can get, a 500 square foot area or something, and that's where people live, very little space, and you put people in there. And if you've got these digital walls to where, oh my gosh, it feels like I'm at a beach in Hawaii right now, and the walls change because they're digital. You can, any image that you want, any music, and any ambiance, you create your own little microcosmic universe. And you just stay in your house, everything's delivered. You work from home if you work at all, you get universal basic income, fulfill your basic needs. You get the authorized food that you can order and so many credit points that allows you to, get the sustenance that you need, or, need. You're not going to get everything you need. They're going to give you synthetic stuff. But you get to, be online all the time and interact with your friends, and you'll see them standing there on the wall, in the digital wall, and it'll be like they're there. And, instead of having real relationships, the robot will take care of all your needs, if you know what I mean. And at what point do we get there and people are good with it? I think a lot of people would be good with it, because you're just dealing with sensory perceptions, the external, the physical, the tangible. To me, it's the intangible. Those are the important things. And I'd hate to see us go down that path. The intangibles are so important, the nuances and just the butterflies in the stomach, the way you feel when you're around somebody, the presence of someone. How do you put a price on that? How do you substitute that? But that's kind of the world we're going into, this transhumanist world, to where we just meld in and become a machine. And where does that leave us? What does that do to us, as humans? How are we affected by that? And especially long term, what does that do to us? Does that separate us from our soul and our existence, our essence? I mean, at some point, are we just disconnected from that? And are they harvesting the soul? Because, I've talked about it before, it's a fight. The gods, are always fighting for your soul, fighting for your attention, fighting for your belief, wanting you to give yourself over and give your energy to them, or whatever particular god it may be, good, evil, in between. They're always vying for that. And is that what these new transhumanist technocratic gods are really after, harvesting your soul? And is there an energy there, an intangible that we really don't understand, that they understand and that they want to capture, that they want that essence of you? What is it, the dark crystal? What do they call it in that? Is it the essence? I don't know what it's called. There's a word for it. That's what they want. They want that. Get that, whatever it is, from you. And cat's over here jumping around looking for a mouse or a rabbit or something funny. Get that mouse in the freaking bar. So is that where we're going? You get in your car and it's not even going to be your car. You're not even going to have to buy a car. You'll use so many credits, just like Uber right now. You pay so many dollars to get an Uber ride. And so why own a car? Why pay the insurance? You've got your little condo set up, your little home, and if you want to go somewhere, you just call the Uber, or you call the ride share, the automated car. That every building would have a specific amount to fulfill the needs of the people in there. They'll algorithm it out, and for 1,000 people in the condominium, we only need 15 cars, or whatever the number is, 17 cars, and because you're constantly going back and forth and the car's available as people need it. And you'll just pay a share of that. You'll pay, through your digital wallet, your digital credits, you'll pay for that ride and get you where you need to go. And if you want to experience, humanity, you'll go and pay for it every place you go. The Starbucks, you'll go and get your thing and come back and use your credits, and you're allotted so many frappuccinos a month just because, it's bad for your health because, you get too much sugar, you're constantly monitored. They do it now. I mean, everything can be done in real time, just like the Apple Watch. They'll know exactly what it is. They'll see the spikes and all this and be like, oh, well, no, you don't get the big one today. You only get the small one today because your levels are up. We got to maintain. And everything's policed, everything's tracked, everything's traced, you will have no decisions. You will be told what you can and cannot do because they control your money. Therefore, they control all of your energy. And it will seem nice to people because they're being taken care of. But at what cost? Like right now, you see the SNAP benefits going to expire on November 1st for a lot of people. What is it, like 40 million people not going to have SNAP benefits? They're not going to be able to go out and buy whatever junk that they want at the store, which is a whole nother topic. I mean, yeah, what was it? You can't buy green tea, with the cards, the benefits, but you can buy Coca-Cola. Judge them by their actions, judge a tree by the fruit. And, you see what the actions are. It's like, oh, you can buy all this crap. You can, get Snicker bars and peanut butter cups and Coca-Colas and, potato chips. That's all covered. But if you want to get something healthy, it's like that Drake meme. Nope, can't have that. And so this is a good example of what will happen. You will buy the things we want you to buy. Otherwise, you'll lose your benefits. You'll lose your credits. And if you do something wrong, if you talk like I am right now, then my credit score will go negative. And I won't be able to buy anything, and I'll have to wait until I get funded again when my behavior is better. And therefore, I don't want to put myself in that position. I would rather be in a position where I'm at right now, and I'm happy where I'm at right now. I would try to be as independent as I possibly can and avoid that madness. I can't control everybody. They never can. There's always outliers. There's always black sheep. There's always, one of them just doesn't want to go along. Just not going to do it just because. So it's the future in technology. All of this stuff can run. All of this stuff is predictive. It will know your behavior. It will be able to take you wherever you want at a cost, and it will seem convenient. But yeah, what is the cost? Oh, the cat's over here now. Franny's. Look at, I don't know if you can see Franny. She's looking. So just some things to think about today. Before you order that new Optimus Light robot that they'll be rolling out and getting that self-driving car, and moving to that smart city, maybe give it some thought. And again, if it is all digital, the digital, which it's going to be, I choose a different path to operate in that digital system when I need to. I would rather have sound digital money that's outside that system, and when I want to participate in that vampire casino, I will do it. It's no different than going to Las Vegas. You've got your money and your cash, arguably money. When you want to play in the casino, you exchange it for those poker chips, those casino chips, that allow you to play in that vampire casino. I look at it as the same way. I choose not to play in that vampire casino unless maybe I have to. And if I do, I'm going to have something that I can present that has value so that I can play temporarily with those vampire chips for whatever reason that I need to, but it allows me to interface with it and then pull back. So if you're in that digital system, that's why I'm such a strong proponent of Litecoin, because it is decentralized and it is rock solid, been running for over 14 years and fulfills all the needs that I have as a sound money for the digital age. Digibyte 2, that is something that is truly decentralized, and arguably more so, because you have 5 different algorithms that you can use. Makes it more quantum resistant, in theory. And it's a very decentralized thing that anybody can do, and you can create your own coins and make your own money through that proof of work system. It's not something that someone comes along, some multimillionaire, and says, I've got this great idea. Hey, look, I'm going to create these tokens out of nothing, and hey, I'm going to give 10% to an exchange, so that the exchange will list it and pump it and advertise it and convince everybody that this is the greatest thing ever. You don't have that with coins like Litecoin and Digibyte. These coins have been fairly launched. Everybody had an opportunity to get into it. It's a fair shot for everyone, and everyone can participate in a decentralized way. And that's the kind of money that I want if we're going into this full digital technocracy, something like that, because that will have value. All these other things are they're fleeting. They're money grabs. The real money, the smart money, just like in Bitcoin. I mean, that's where people put it, in these decentralized coins. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. It has issues that I foresee that I don't want to deal with. And to me, it's way overvalued. Litecoin does it so much better, far better, and has a fixed supply and has been running nonstop for over 14 years, and Bitcoin can't even say that. So just saying, faster, cheaper, privacy optional. Got it all, baby. Litecoin is sound money for the digital age. Exit that vampire casino. Litecoin. If we're going to Mars, you need sound digital money. You don't want to be carrying silver, gold, or cash to Mars. What do you need? You need portable money. You need Litecoin, Mars money. All right, enough of that crap. Franny's upset, so I want to wrap this up. The cat. Hey, stop. Give me kisses. I know. Calm down. All right, so I love you all. Think about what the future is. Think about the future, Eckhart, Jack Nicholson, and Batman. So yeah, really give it some thought, and prepare your mind, soul for what's coming, and take action, and do the best you can to prepare. But don't fret it. Don't worry so much. Live every day. Every day is a new life. Make it a good day. Make it a good life. All right. Love you all.